Welcome to Amplified, the Chesapeake Public Schools podcast.
Chesapeake Schools is located in the Hampton Roads area of southeastern Virginia. We serve 40,000 students in 45 schools and 3 centers. This podcast is designed to tell the stories behind our story and to introduce and celebrate the people and programs that make us one of the premier school districts in Virginia.
All right, here we are, episode 00 with the Amplified Chesapeake Public Schools podcast. I am Matt Graham. I'm going to be one of the co-hosts for the podcast.
And I'm Richie Babb, the other co-host.
So, Richie, tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
I actually graduated from Chesapeake Public Schools, went to Great Bridge High School when the new high school was actually new. And I've been in the school system 36 years. I taught English. I've been in communications, library supervisor. It sounds like I've had trouble keeping a job. But at least I've been in the school system for 36 years, and I have decades of experience doing television and radio. How about yourself?
Well, you know, I'm not there 36 years yet. I think if I hit 36, I might be gone. But I am hitting year 20. I was a classroom teacher for many years in the middle schools. I've been at 3 different middle schools. So I guess I'm kind of the same way, too.
Yeah,
I
can't keep a job.
Can't keep a job.
Yeah.
So after that, came a TIS, a technology integration specialist. And now I'm in the Department of Communications along with you. So that's a little bit about me. And tell me what you are pumped about for this podcast.
Well, having been in and around communications for a long time, the school system communications tend to be one of a few things, either a social media post or a press release, or we put it on the website. And that contributes to, and you have to do that. I mean, those things are required. You have to give your community information. But you have to be careful because sometimes these communications make the school system an it and not a them. And the goal for me with this podcast is to make Chesapeake Public Schools a them, where we put a human face on it, have a human face, meet the people that are involved, students, teachers, administrators, bus drivers, and celebrate them and to find out what are the stories behind our story. It's a new way to communicate. It's another way to communicate, to make it personal and to get personal with the people who we interview and hopefully with the people who are listening.
Right. So it's definitely more conversation based, and that's how this podcast is going to run. And like you were mentioning, just to kind of piggyback on that, is it's when information gets put out there, sometimes it's either a picture or just text. You never really hear the tone behind that, right? And so that's kind of one of the points with this podcast is we want to share how did we get here, or why was this decision sort of made? It wasn't just, all of a sudden, here it's done, right? We want to maybe tell, like you said, that story behind the story and have that conversation, that two-way conversation that takes place.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should be, I mean, I'm excited about that. Do we know exactly what it's going to be like? Well, not really, honestly, but it will be conversations. It will be a way to humanize our school division and to celebrate the people in it, some very hardworking people.
Right. So, and we're going to be on cpschools.com/amplified. That's where you can find out a little bit more about the podcast. And don't forget to follow us on all the different podcast outlets like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're going to be out there. So follow us today. We're pumped about our first episodes coming out in like a week.
Yeah, so Matt told you where you can find us. Be sure that you find us. Like Matt said, the first episode's coming out in the next few days, a week. Be sure to join us. And thanks for listening.